Hello everyone, Pallytime here with TGN.TV. This is the continuation of my new player guide series for Dark Souls. In today's video I'm going to talk about equipment load and armor and things of that nature, because I mentioned in the first video that I posted, which was only about 12 hours ago, but I mentioned in the first video that I posted that I recommend having high mobility, because a lot of new players come into the game and they think that having the heaviest armor is going to benefit them the most, and that should be what they aim for. And what happens is a lot of new players come into the game and they basically have no chance at avoiding any attacks whatsoever because they can't roll out of the way. Right now I am using the Ninja Flip ring. This is a ring that I don't really recommend new players get. I probably should have made a guide on how to get it, but you know, it's 5 in the morning right now. 6 in the morning right now, damn. So I probably wasn't thinking too clearly when I got it. But this is the Ninja Flip ring. And you can see that if my equipment load is low enough, that it's going to give me some pretty fast rolling. So why do you want to roll? You roll to get immunity frames, and you roll to dodge attacks. So if you roll at the right time when an attack's coming, it doesn't even matter if the attack hits you, you're going to have some immunity frames, basically some frames in your character's movement where you are not going to take any damage whatsoever. And having a fast roll and the Ninja Flip roll allow you to take advantage of these the most, in my opinion. Just mobility overall. See, I rolled directly into his sword there. Let's go ahead and kill him. So what happens if we start to add more armor to the equation? Why would you want to add more armor to the equation? Well, let's put on... Am I still fast rolling? Okay, we're still fast rolling. For all intents and purposes, I know they're not the same. Let's just assume that fast roll and Ninja Flip serve the same purpose. All right? Let's all agree on that while we move forward. I know that's not the case. I know there are advantages to both. All right, so what we have here is a medium roll. This is one step up from fast roll, and you get medium rolls, or you get slower rolls the more equipment load that you add to your character. All of your weapons have weight. All of your armor has weight. So if you go in here, we can see that my Baldur side sword is 3.0 pounds. My Baldur shield is 4 pounds. And then my Elite Knight's armor is 11.7. And my Elite Knight leggings are 6.9. And all of that adds up to 25.6 equipment load out of my allocated, or out of my possible 65. I'm currently level 27 in this video with 25 endurance. And the more you increase your endurance, the higher your equipment load goes. So if you want to wear heavier armor and still be mobile, you add more points to endurance to make that possible. So we are medium rolling right now, and what does that mean? Basically, we still get the immunity frames from rolling. That still happens. We can still take advantage of those, and we're still somewhat mobile on the battlefield. But we have a longer recovery time on our rolls. So there's a longer time where the enemy can hit us when we're completely defenseless. You gonna come out here, buddy? I was gonna fight you. I was gonna demonstrate stuff. Alright, come on. So with the medium roll, basically you have to find a nice balance between rolling and blocking. You can't just do rolls anymore. You can't avoid most things with rolls, because you're gonna still get the immunity frames. But you can see that was a perfect example. I rolled, but because of the recovery time on my roll, he was able to get a second attack in where I was completely defenseless. And as we add more armor to the equation, let me see if I can do that while I'm fighting him. We're going to get slow rolls. So our equipment load gets increased, we get a slow roll, and we have less time where we can defend ourselves when we roll. So the more armor that you add to this equation, the more likely you're going to need to block to mitigate most of the damage. Alright, let me go take all of this off. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, male Bam Bam style. So what is the advantage to adding on more gear? Why would you wear heavy gear if it limits your mobility? Well, the simple reason for that is it's pure defensive stats. If we go in here, we can see that right now my bleed resist is 203, my poison resist is 85, my curse resist is 125, and my poise is 100, as well as my physical defenses in the middle. My current physical defense is 305. And then it breaks it down a little bit more. But let's just say overall, my physical defense is 305. And then you also have magic, flame, and lightning defenses. Heavy armor typically has better stats in all of these areas. Here, mentally remember these numbers because I won't. It's way too late. If we go ahead and take those off and put on, let's say, my starting gear. I started as a wanderer. So we'll put these on really fast. If we go back to my stats, you can see that my physical defense innately is much, much lower. I have 0 poise, and my resistances fluctuated some, but I honestly can't remember what the number was before that. So what does that mean? Basically, the trade-off is that with heavy armor, you're a lot bulkier. You can take more punishment, but your mobility goes down pretty significantly. So even if these guys do hit you when you're wearing heavy armor, it's not going to hurt as much as if you were wearing light armor and rolling around. So the good thing about this game is that there's a fine line that you can make as the player. You can decide, what you want your character to do and build around that. So there are certain items that give X amount of poise, and you can couple that with another item that gives Y amount of poise in order to get the specific amount of resistances that you want, or not even poise, bleed resistances. If you're gearing up to fight a boss, you can get really, it gets quite intricate as you get into it. And along the way, you can pick up a few rings that help with equipment load as well as a mask. So if you wanted to wear a bit heavier armor, you can go ahead and equip the Havel's ring, and it'll speed up your roll a little bit. You can see without the Havel's ring, I was doing a medium roll here. Go ahead and equip the Havel's ring, and there you go, fast roll. I'll go ahead and try to find the exact percentages that each roll dictates, each equipment load stat dictates. I feel like I'm trying to say words and they're just not making sense. I'll try to find the percentages of equipment load that correlate with roll speed. Damn, knocked it out of the park. And I'll put that down in the video description below. But I hope you guys feel like you learned something. Armor isn't always the best answer, but in some cases it is. So it's totally up to the player to determine what they want to wear, as long as you take into account what the advantages and the disadvantages are. So alright guys, I hope this helped. I hope this cleared up some things. Hopefully I didn't make it more confusing. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button below. Leave me a comment down below as well. And if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to subscribe.